Welcome to another edition of Inside the Humidor. I'm Josh Eagle alongside Ed Brandyberry. And this face you noticed from previous season. This is Paul Staley from Inside the Humidor. Like literally sitting inside the humidor. That's cool. Yep. We're going to do a little show today about events. We have one scheduled today. It's Hamlet, who's with Rocky Patel. It's a rolling event. He actually comes in. He's going to demonstrate the process on how to roll a cigar. And that's not the only type of events they have in this industry. So we're going to talk a little bit about events, and maybe you should check them out around the city, around your local area, and you know why it's beneficial to the shop owners to do it, why it's also beneficial to the customers.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paul? Why you go to an event?
Well, I go to an event because it's the people, the atmosphere of different stores, finding out what's more about the cigars and the people that make the cigars, and standing behind the product, and you enjoy a good smoke and a good stick by finding out more information about the
where they're from and what they're doing. For sure. And so some of the backup stuff, like there's more of a background story that you get. Ed, why do you like going to events? Why do you like hosting events?
Well, like you say, there are positives for our customers, and there are positives for a retailer also. The exposure the retailer gets by bringing more people into the shop at that time and offering them deals that you can't really offer other times.
Right.
And so you're able to do that because the manufacturer is offering deals to you in some one way or another.
Right.
And I enjoy them also as a smoker, because you get to sort of concentrate usually on a brand.
Right.
So like today we're having a Hamlet one, and we're just going to have his two blends, but still has about 11, 12 sizes, something like that, 9.
Yeah, there's still choice in that, and some events are different than others. This,
well, we can put a Monte Cristo event out here, and it needs 2 tables.
Right, you can have,
and that's because we carry a lot of Monte Cristo.
Yes, and Rocky Patel is also, Hamlet falls under the Rocky Patel umbrella.
That's right.
If we put out the Rocky Patel portfolio, it'd go,
right.
There's
It
a giant
hurt
table.
The sale of what we had to do for getting this event.
Right. So some events, though, they have certain brands. We actually have a brand owner coming in, or the representative of the brand that has his name on the band, Hamlet.
Yeah.
So Hamlet will be here. He'll be doing the rolling. So he wants to promote his cigar, even though he falls under the Rocky umbrella.
Yes.
Right. We had Jack Tarano, who you check out on the show. The same type of event happened with Jack. So we put Taranos out. It's a brand focus, on Tarano. And like you said,
whereas if we put General out, we could put 3 tables out and line all the Generals out.
In General cigar, for those out there, you're looking at Macanudo, Punch, Gloria, Partagas, all these brands fall underneath. Yeah, the Cohiba, and they also own, through their parent company, Cigars International, and now Thompson. So they have a major online presence.
Yeah, they do.
So, but to focus on one of their brands at Tarano and bring in Jack, I think that's beneficial for everyone. People got to see the brand. You came to that event. What do you think of Jack and the brand?
I thought he was great. I thought he did a great presentation. I thought that all the sticks you had here were very good. I thought, he was very gracious with his time. And that's what it comes down when you get FaceTime with these people, and they appreciate, as a business thing, they want to come back because they appreciate how you treat them.
Right.
And it's not a phoniness. It's a general atmosphere, and it gives them time to relax, because it's very rare when they can relax and have a good time and still put their product out there and people enjoy it. And that's where you get your niche, where you can get these people to come back, because it's just not the numbers, and that it's about the closeness they get with a cigar shop, knowing that they appreciate their brand and that they're selling their brand at a high level, and they're behind the brand that they're saying it. So it is a business thing, but it's also a personal touch when you can talk to these people on a one-on-one basis.
And I think from the customer point of view, the customer sees that the rep is here. And the owner is having a good time, but that it's not always the case.
Right.
Sometimes they don't like to get up and do these kind of things. It's almost like a perpetuation of their own brand.
Right.
But what it does do is it says, okay, Tarano. It's an old family of making cigars. They've had, this is a completely rebranded from old blends. They brought it back out, so now he's out as the front of the company and putting cigars in people's hands that might not have had them before.
That's right. That's right.
And that was a really great.
And they're enough different. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They're enough different from the shall we say, older
Right.
Toronto portfolio, that you're able to attract people you might not have attracted with the old portfolio.
Right.
You know,
And the price with the cigar was touched everybody's base and made them want to get more sticks and try the different brands. So they tried every one that was up on the box or on the table, I should say. So yeah, it's a good when you sit there and try different sticks it's a good product and for a customer, it's a good price range.
Yeah, the Toronto for sure had a good price.
Yeah.
So sometimes we go to events for price deals. You know, like you had said earlier,
Right.
the manufacturer is able to supply some things. So you're looking at, buy some sticks, receive discounts on other sticks, or,
Right.
Basically reduce the cost of the overall cigar. And it gives
Right.
you a chance to try, gives us a chance to sell, it gives the customer a benefit through manufacturer, manufacturer rebates essentially, or
Right,
bonus
right.
to us. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that we can do to help the customer, to give discounts, and we don't take a big loss as the manufacturer because we have to make a buy-in as the store owner.
Right.
You know,
But
you have to get
that's where
extra-
your customers come in. You want your customers to be behind, that follow that, and the advertisement that goes behind. So you get a good group, so everybody wins at the bottom line.
You're right.
And it helps that grow more. So when that person comes, hey, I had a really good time. That guy was a stand-up person. Word of mouth is the biggest thing when it comes down to promotion of any kind of event you're going to have in your store. Is participation, and that's general in any kind of really when you're running an event. It's being behind it and pushing it.
Yeah, it only fuels as fast as or as good as the customers that show up.
Right.
You know,
Well, one thing that I think that also happens that we find out that the presence of someone from the company, a brand owner or ambassador, and the company's not able to do much in the way of an offer can sink a brand here.
Right.
And that happened with some cigars that we have been doing well with, and the particular structure of their events didn't really endear them to the customer, and so the customers actually quit buying. Some customers quit buying the brand because they didn't feel they supported us enough.
And that's a tough one too because being brand owners ourselves, that the meat that's on the bone for some of these small brands compared to when General is putting magnets and air exchange units and we're giving away Yeti coolers and
Right.
these kind of things kind of spoil the customer a little bit too. So some of the smaller brands that can't afford to do anything like that, it's tougher to blame them so much. But I can see from the customer's perspective, they don't give a crap how big. They don't
Your
care
profit
how,
margin.
Yeah, they don't care how big your profit
No,
margin is.
we
They're-
face that, like you say, with our own, with the Stack cigar line. And another thing about that is that we also have customer perception, which is wrong, that the one making a lot of money is the manufacturer. On a per stick basis, the retailer makes the best money. That's
Absolutely.
not saying much.
No.
But it's saying that the retailer is who has the chance to make the most money on a per stick basis.
And they're the
Now,
most
granted,
important.
The big companies are making money,
Well, yeah.
no problem. But they actually have the luxury to decide: do we want to make this a loss leader, or do we want this to make sure that goes by our usual markup on cigars?
Right.
And they can make that depending. The bigger the company gets, the more vertical they are, the more they can do things like that.
Yeah, they can definitely have better room for. Obviously, they have bigger expense budgets. They have, and now you see some of these big companies are actually getting into retail, like online sales, because
Right.
retail, any business, when you have the last point of contact is the customer that's actually purchasing the product for retail consumption or for use. That is your key point of contact. So, I can see again, like back to your original statement, when some of the brands don't come to the table, that also shows that hey. At the retailer side, they're not
Right.
willing to step up a little bit there too, and they've gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
And, people have done better, and then the FDA comes along.
So they put.
And the FDA didn't want us to offer any incentives to buy cigars. So you have cigars usually in most stores now handed out at the register so that the actual cigars you get are because you already made a purchase.
Right, you've made a purchase and you've discounted a certain percentage
Right.
down. And, you know, take that for what it's worth. This is an adult-only business, an adult-only facility. And I understand the incentive to get, but, you know, that really, it's not apples to apples in my opinion. Getting discounts on a product you're purchasing anyway versus, you know, walking around on the street handing them out to children.
Yeah.
It's completely different, you know.
And that goes back to also the way each of us, our individual shops, handles events and also handles our day-to-day business. We give a generous discount to our locker holders. At least I think it's generous. And with no minimum, and then they get a discount.
Right.
And
that's business. That has nothing to do with tobacco business.
No,
you know,
no.
That's just solid business.
That's right.
Well, that's
a
common
reward program.
sense. But you got those are when you have as many the locker system here, you have a lot of people that back the store because they have the lockers and appreciate coming here.
Right. It's ownership.
Yeah.
When you have something vested and you have a place to be, it's an ownership. It's like any private club style.
Right.
Yeah.
This is my piece of the business,
Right.
and I take ownership, and I care that the business grows and succeeds.
And there's no doubt that we've seen, we saw an increase in volume sales when we introduced lockers.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt that we saw those increases because people would come through, and some, like our cameraman, will just come along with a box, an empty box from, he doesn't care what brand it is, he'll just grab an empty box and fill that box up with what he wants.
Right.
And
You have a place to put them right there.
and he'll have a place to put them because he's got a box here.
He's got to walk about 50 feet to put them in the
50 feet and put them in there, and hope that his partner in the box hasn't drank all his booze.
You know, and from the retail, from the retail, you know, events, and this has been going on a long time. We've been hosting events. Other shops have been hosting events for 20 years, bringing in brand owners, giving discounts, shaking each other's hands, enjoying each other's company. But a newer trend here in the last 5 years has been some of these manufacturer groups are not only making an event, they're creating basically entertainment venues.
Yes.
I.e. Rocky Patel Burn,
Right.
that is going to be an event essentially every day of the year, you know, in Casa Monte Cristo, and some of these other shops,
Davidoff's a partnership with Blend.
with a blend bar.
Yeah.
So you're opening up worldwide, not just in cities like New York or Vegas. You're starting to see them creep into, like, Rocky Burns, and now in Oklahoma City. It's in, you know,
Pittsburgh,
Pennsylvania.
We're going to open one here soon.
Blend is here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these are facilities now. You know, some of the local people had opened up. I know that the Lot is opening up in Oakmont. They have 135 lockers at the Lot. I mean, that is a ton of lockers.
Yeah, it
but
is.
hey, if they think they can fill that and you're getting that
Yeah.
support,
Yeah.
you know, that's great. But again, that's eating, that's music,
Mm-hmm.
that's cigar smoking. That's essentially a retail cigar shop event every night of the week.
Right.
But that's also high end, though. In some of those big places are high end, where they're going for
perceptually, yeah.
and
Or
you're paying.
conceptually.
They're paying for that. They're paying for the bells and whistles. Your normal cigar shop, not to take away from the places that are opening that are big end, you get more of. I mean, you're going down there for the atmosphere for that night. Where you come to a local cigar shop like this, it's the people you see on a daily basis
it's
or
a
every
day
other
in,
day,
day
depending
out.
on what your schedule is.
Right.
Like you're talking about the lockers. It's convenient if you, like myself, I'm a locker owner, but I like the idea of, I know my cigars are going to be fresh, going to be humidor the way they should be, and I don't have to worry about that. I mean, you can have a humidor at home for your casual use, but if you're spending most of your time on the run and you want a good cigar and you know it's going to be taken care of, it's worth that to have it, because you know your cigars are being taken care of, and if you need any more sticks, all you're doing is going inside the humidor here, grab one, get a box or a half a box, and you know it's taken care of.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and I think there's a definite benefit to having that community inside like that. And another thing is, too, a place to smoke,
Yes.
which we've talked about on past shows.
Yes.
Lockers at a facility. You know, we have 8 months of winter here, it seems like, you know.
Well, in Pittsburgh, there's
Yeah.
no reason for someone to not be able to find a shop where they can sit and smoke a cigar.
Right. There's
Because I would say 90% of the shops in this area, if not more, have the ability to let you sit and smoke a cigar and enjoy the company of other
Right.
cigar smokers.
Right.
And I'm not talking about, but what misunderstanding that some people might get in about a cigar shop is that you've got a bunch of business executives sitting around, pompous asses, excuse me, but talking about their greatness and things like that. That's not what we find here.
No.
We find a Robert Morris University student who's just starting to smoke cigars,
Right.
sitting alongside the vice president of some company or the owner of a small manufacturer, and they sit and they enjoy cigars together, not because of who they are, but because they enjoy cigars. And I think that's the thing about events. You get,
A mix.
in our case, you get a standing room only crowd a lot of times.
And cloud.
Yeah, and a cloud. Yeah, a cloud of smoke
Yeah.
moving across the ceiling because we have low ceilings in here. So, but you get that feeling, and my hat comes off to you. And I remember when we started this
Yep.
adventure, that one of your big focuses was that this would feel like someone's man cave away from home.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest compliment we get is when people can repeat to us that this feels like home.
Yeah, it's good because it is a cave, so we really had no. we had no other choice.
Yeah, really. The ceilings, folks, the ceilings here are I don't even think they're actually 7 foot, are they?
7'1".
About 6, 7'1", 7'1".
But see, though, that goes down to Eagle having his shop the way he wanted it to be. People come in not just to see everybody, but he is the face of this, like yourself. And it's the camaraderie. He makes everybody come through that door. Hey, what's up? What's going on? He has the personality that draws people in and want to come back.
And you know what? We know what's great is of the cigar store owners and of the cigar shop employees, they all do the same thing from
Yeah.
here to.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's about. They drive. It's a community, and Josh Mills, who would be sitting in this chair over here with Paul, he's going to Rocky Patel Burn to work, and you know, for him, that's a good compliment, I think. You know,
Yes.
and if he wants to move up in the cigar world and wants
Yes.
to stay in it for a long time, putting Rocky Patel Burn on your resume.
He's a
isn't
young
bad.
guy. He has an opportunity.
But
But he hired Roger,
yeah.
you know, from Bloom Cigar, and these guys are going to, I don't think they realize how many people they're going to know that walk into that humidor.
And I think it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, they're going to know them.
Did he hire
personally.
Roger?
Well,
That's a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
But you know, in cigar business, it's a network. You look how many different people, myself included, comes from another cigar shop and hang here, and it's the people you talk to, the network, like with Mills leaving and going down there. I'm going to support him because not only did he work here, he's my friend. You want to see people in the cigar industry get better.
Yeah.
And he's smart. He knows what he's. To she used to say someday when he goes on, hey, you know, he's my friend and he's doing well.
Yes.
Because it's like anything. You want to see people.
You're allowed
get
to
better.
walk through our chute.
No, that's okay. You're shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on in. Inside
Come on
the
in.
humidor.
That's why we call it Inside the Humidor.
I'm the FedEx guy. I'll be delivering to you.
All right, fantastic.
I thought you didn't deliver
right.
tobacco anymore.
No, we still deliver
Some.
stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's not labeled, you don't know. Worry about it.
I mean, the guy at ASW. Do you know Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said we FedEx quit shipping, but we still ship lighters and.
I get the
Oh
stuff
yeah,
from Phillips
sure,
and King.
sure. Yeah, you get that.
Well, great. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoy.
What do you
Thanks,
enjoy?
but-
Do you go to cigar events?
What's up?
Do you go to cigar events?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the
had-
camaraderie, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to deliver to Mike down in Fox Chapel on
Yeah.
Lawn Ox. He'd have one once a month on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Pretty much what we do here too. It seems to be the
well,
cigar
I'll,
day.
I'll be here. I'll be here, believe me.
Well, we've got one tonight here.
Okay.
Yeah, but, so let's talk a little bit about what actually happens at these events. Yeah, a
Right.
manufacturer walks in and we put some cigars on a table, but that doesn't sound like that much fun, does it?
We've even had contests.
Right, so we had to step it up a notch in the
Yeah.
event. Right, and like some of the ones that we do, especially our quarterly ones, we have 4 big ones every year. We do the Perdomo crawfish cookout, which has been a huge success. We also raised some money for the Epilepsy Foundation with that one. It's a big giant crawfish boil with our producer back here,
Yeah.
who is our chef
Yeah.
of the crawfish boil. It's actually, I don't know, what do they call a boiler?
Cook.
A cook. Sounds good. Shrimp cook. But we put them out at a table. We got the potatoes, the sausage, the vegetables, man.
Well, the folks in Louisiana, when I told them how we did it, they said, "Oh, he does it right.
He does it the right
He does
way.
it right."
You know, so we do that. We do a pig roast with Drew Estate, where we have another customer that,
Right.
that we've had a rib cook-off, and we
Yep.
had some
Oh.
customers that do
Right,
that one as
right.
well. So you're eating, you're drinking, you're laughing. Some of the ones we do in here, we have $30 cigar night, which is
Yes.
fun. Essentially,
A lot of people don't understand how that could be worth their attending.
right.
But when you get cigars up around $25, $40,
Yes.
you should notice a noticeable difference in the quality of the stick. And
you
you
can.
do.
Yeah.
My experience is you really do in these $30 cigar nights.
And what makes it fun is basically the concept of it is we all smoke cigars that cost $30 or more, and I mean that doesn't sound like there's much of a benefit to the consumer, but if you're going to have one,
Yeah.
right? If you're
This
going
is
to
your
smoke,
one
why
time a
not
year.
one time a year you're gonna have? Why not come do it with a bunch of people doing the same exact thing?
Right. Right.
You know, you can take a $40 cigar home, smoke it on your porch alone, but then you didn't appreciate it with anybody else or do
That's
anything.
right.
So it's
That's
about
right.
bringing people together.
Right.
And we're trying to put together this year. We're going to try to do a whole lamb roast.
Wow.
So we're looking to get into some other fun things and step that up. We do garage night, which is coming up, and we
Yeah,
smoke
garage
cigars.
is just the other end.
The opposite of $30
Right,
cigar.
right.
Now we smoke cigars that cost
And
$6
drink
or less.
Pabst Blue Ribbon
Pabst
beer.
Blue Ribbon, and then some of the, make sure that
PBR.
Yeah, that's right. PBR.
we try to get some beers that are very inexpensive, we'll say.
Yeah.
Because, and we also do tastings. We're
Right.
very into the spirits.
We were having spirits night, once a month? For a while. We probably ought to start that back up.
Yeah, we did
And
one of them.
where we would have a Monday night a month where we would have bourbons. And then we'd have another month we'd have scotches. Another month we'd have cognac. And another month you'd have, and since we're BYOB,
And the consumer.
if there's not enough to drink, it's your fault.
Right.
Because you've got to bring it.
That's right. And that's what you get participation that way. Everyone brings
Right.
down something to try. And,
That they like usually or they want to try.
and it's a way to turn people on to different spirits that might not have tried that before. And again,
There's always
it's-
something
And you
good.
get to try it with a cigar.
Yeah, and it's always something going good. You can always throw together any kind of event, any kind of thing that's going to happen in a cigar shop.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean there's many times you can just throw the grill out there. Like we had one of the best events I've been to, besides all the other ones. We decided to have a bacon night. 2 pounds of bacon we
You
went through
and
here.
Fred Rui.
And it was absolutely
it was
great. BLT
25 pounds of bacon.
was it 25 pounds? of bacon?
25
Okay,
pounds.
I misspoke. But it was fantastic.
Bacon bar.
It was
Thrown
like
together.
unbelievable. It was not one piece of bacon left. It was like but
People
small stuff goes
responded
a
well
long
to
way
that, didn't
sometimes.
they? I don't know. Did
you
we
get
do much of that?
I don't know. My wife wasn't too thrilled because I cooked it at the house. House smelled like bacon for a month.
Oh God,
So,
there's not like good bacon too. That is definitely the same thing.
so there you go. You have all those types of things, and,
Right.
and other guys in the city here are doing, crazy things. They had I know the Dirty Dog cigar. So hopefully we get those guys on the show here coming up soon. They had a leftovers night the day after Thanksgiving on the Black Friday, and essentially everyone brought leftovers from the Thanksgiving dinner down.
Yeah.
And then they smoked and got deals on cigars that are left over or cigars they're going to discontinue. Or
Yeah, yeah.
And it was an all-you-can-smoke event.
All right.
So they put a table out, and you paid a flat fee, and you smoked whatever you wanted off the table for that fee and ate leftovers. So
That's
a pretty
slick.
cool event.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are very creative that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's trying to one-up each other a little bit, try to come up with something more creative and edgy. And it's actually been a necessity, too, to come up with something that's more original and add something more to the consumer base as more people in our area are doing events.
Yeah,
You know, Hammett was in the South Hills last night.
Last night.
And tonight, he'll be here tonight. So, I mean, the South Hills to us, if you're familiar with Pittsburgh, I mean, it's a 25-minute ride.
It's like another universe in Pittsburgh. People wouldn't understand, but
But it's far away. It's 25 minutes with no traffic, but it could be an hour if you...
if you hit the traffic.
It's like at Superior, where I work at, all the way out in Munhall, and then the Latrona Heights thing. I mean, it's different. It's spread out with different people.
Getting people to drive across the bridges and things here, so you really have to tempt them to get really big turnouts. You have to, you have to go above and beyond, make people want to drive.
Yeah, you do.
Right, and it make them interested to come. And once you get them there and they feel comfortable, they want to come back. They'll take that extra time. Maybe they'll have a designated driver to take them somewhere that they don't feel like, or a bunch of them will go, so they're not all driving cars. But it is getting people's interest and getting people excited when they know, hey, they're having something.
It's a great way to expose a brand.
Yes.
Well, and one of the reasons when Paulie's on the show and we're talking about events is because that's the first time he was introduced to the shop. He came to a Drew Estate event because he's been to other ones.
Yep.
Right.
And known Sam, he traveled. And Paul's not the only one, but that is definitely the goal of an event for. And it can work in reverse.
Yeah.
If you go on our Yelp page, by the way, we had so many people here, and that was their first experience here. They just kind of walked in off the street and almost complained that there were too many people in here. It's an interesting complaint from the owner of the business, but I understand it.
Right.
It's the first time you walk into a cigar shop and it's wall-to-wall people and bananas.
Yeah.
And it obviously gets smoky, and you try to do things you can to improve those in any of these places. But anytime you pack 25, 30, 40 people in a room smoking cigars, it's got a lot of work to do to get back out. So bring your smoking jackets to these events, guys.
Right.
Don't wear your fancy clothes.
No.
If you don't want your socks
Unless
to
it's
smell,
$30 cigar night.
$30 cigar night, then you wear your fancy clothes.
That's right.
We get that dry cleaner bill going.
Yeah.
But it's part of the love. Is the smell, and I don't know. Anybody who's really into it that way understands it.
There really is. I mean, this isn't just some retail pitch. It is a retail pitch, but it's not just a retail pitch. There is a true camaraderie among cigar smokers that they enjoy one another's company, even if they don't like the other guy. You find a way to get along.
Right.
That's why I proposed a constitutional amendment that would require, whenever the government is at an impasse, they must go to the nearest cigar shops and sit down and have a cigar with the person who has an opposite view of them. I don't know how well that'd work.
I probably wouldn't wear it.
but they'd enjoy cigars.
They can go to
And that's what we
in
do
Harrisburg.
here.
They can go to Greg's.
Yeah, that's what they do here.
Right.
People enjoy cigars here from many different walks of life.
So, in conclusion, events can be beneficial from price point and getting some extra sticks, bringing people in, talking to people, having some fun. When's the last time anybody out there has had crawfish on a crawfish boil? Not sure.
Yeah, and didn't pay
I only
for
have
it.
it once a year. Yeah, and didn't pay for it. That's
A lot of people are shocked because we don't charge for our meal events.
No, and it's a customer appreciation thing too.
Right.
That's why they're not every day.
That's right. They were, we wouldn't be sitting here.
That's right. Once a year is plenty. But for Ed Brandyberry, Paul Staley, thank you.
Yep.
Josh Eagle, get out there and bird one.
All right, thank you.